Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Bree here. I may have a name for the podcast. I'm not sure yet. I put up a Twitter poll and threw some names out that my friend had sent me that are brilliant and I love them. I'm just torn. I haven't been able to decide for sure if I want to abide by the poll and go with the one that got 70% of the votes or if I want to go with one of the others because they're all brilliant. So we'll see on that. If I do change the name of the show, it will still be fearmeitsbre on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, just to make it easier, because this is what people know to search me by. I do want to announce that my Rumble is weird because it won't let me change my name on there, for the most part. It has me as Center Conservative Mom, which was one of my older names on here before I really decided what I wanted to do. But it also has me listed as fearmeitsbre. I have no idea. Search both of those things, and I guess you'll find it. I only have one video up. I forgot to put up my video the other day. So I'm going to do that today probably or tomorrow. I'm going to upload 3 videos all at once to Rumble. I'm still getting the hang of it. YouTube's definitely easier for me because I'm used to it, but I'm going to try and actually use Rumble and the tools available to me through it. So you can follow me on there if you want to. And you're already here, so I guess let's get started on everything. I feel like there was actually something I needed to say, and I don't know what it was. Maybe it'll come to me in the middle of this, and then I'll be like, oh hey, by the way, there's another thing. I don't remember, so we're just gonna jump into things. I'm a little disoriented because I didn't have time this morning to go through stuff as thoroughly as I wanted to, other than listening to the CNN Townhall. We went to a farm and watched cows go out to pasture for the first time, and it was really cute, and they were hopping around, and it was really sweet. It was adorable. And then we got milk, some farm fresh milk, so my kids are very, very happy because they love cold milk. So they chugged some of that before their naps, and now I'm ready to just jump in and do this. But if I seem discombobulated, it's because I didn't have time to throw my stuff together the way that I usually do. So I have a bunch of tabs open in front of me, not even in order, so that's not going to help me out at all. But we will get through it and figure it out. Sorry, this might be a little choppy and weird today, but we'll do our best. So I also am having an issue with my Twitter where mobile Twitter is perfectly fine, but online Twitter or desktop Twitter is not letting me find my bookmarks for some weird reason. I don't know why. So I had to retweet some stuff to be able to find it. So I've had that issue today. I do want to shout out the last episode I did, episode 23, was with Alvin Liu from Courage is a Habit on the main LD 1735 transgender kid bill. So if you want to go back and listen to that, he gave us a whole rundown on his organization, what it is, the bill, and how you can fight it. That's going to be debated not debated, but I guess there's a hearing tomorrow in the Maine state capitol for it. And if you cannot attend, if you're in Maine and you cannot attend and speak yourself, then you can either do Zoom, or probably what I will do, since we have a busy weekend ahead, is I'm planning on sending in a written testimony, at least so that I can have a say in this, because this does not just affect my state, it affects every state. Because if your state has chosen to ban transgender surgeries for minors, they can come to my state and our authorities won't help you out at all. So this affects everyone. He did say, it's a very much copycat of California's bill, where they did the same thing and unfortunately went through. And we're hoping it doesn't go through here, but we'll see. Our legislator isn't necessarily the most trustworthy on the Democrat side. Our House and Senate are both Democrat controlled, and our governor is Democrat. So I have a feeling it's going to go through, just like LD 1619, the abortion one that I went to the hearing of. I have a feeling that's going to go through as well, unfortunately, but we will find out within a few weeks whether or not we become a trans tourism sanctuary state. So let's see. Let's jump into the Trump Town Hall. I'm going to hop over to... I'm going to start here. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she had something to say about it. So I'm going to hop over here. Sorry. Like I said, I'm discombobulated today. I'm figuring things out as I go. So she said, there is simply no way CNN can feign ignorance about the fact that they set up a sexual assault victim to be targeted and attacked on national television a day after the verdict Verdict, she is referring to Trump and the trial that happened, which it's bull. I'm not going to go into it. People were sounding the alarm about this exact scenario. They let it happen anyway without a plan. This is the choice to platform election disinformation, lies about January 6th, totally unchecked and reckless claims about abortion. They need to take ownership of what just happened. This cannot be normalized. It is dangerous. Hey, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Hey, AOC. I was just at a hearing where we debated an abortion bill that will do exactly what Trump had said all the way up to 9 months. It's in the bill. So I don't know where you guys get your misinformation that this stuff isn't happening, but there are organizations called Shout Your Abortion where women will literally paint on their pregnant bellies. There was one that said the little brat death date, blah, 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 and have abortion parties. And just listen, lady, I don't know where your head is, but pull it out of there, please, because this stuff is happening. Anyway, that's not the rant I want to go into, though. What I responded to her tweet is I said, I think that you are right. I think they set her up with Trump exactly on purpose, referring to Caitlyn. They wanted you to be talking about this. They wanted the Trump is mean to a sexual assault victim headline everyone seems to be falling for, because that's what I've seen all evening last night, all day today. I kept seeing headline after headline that was like, Trump's being rude to a sexual assault victim. Trump's being mean to a sexual assault victim. See how bad Trump is? He's harassing this poor woman on stage on national television. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if, you know, she was chosen for this position of moderating the town hall other than so that they could use her as a political pawn and be like, look, Trump is harassing a sexual assault victim. Caitlin Collins is, I'm not going to use the word I used on Twitter. It's not actually that bad, but it might get me banned on here. I don't know. She made me really want to repeal the 19th Amendment and really made me frustrated. She was not there to debate Trump. She was there to moderate a town hall. What you would do in that situation if you were the moderator is you would say, next question, Mr. President, is from Joe over here from such and such. This is where he is, who he is. Joe, ask your question. Hey, Donald Trump, how do you feel about chocolate chip ice cream? Thank you very much, Joe. Well, Joe, I enjoy chocolate chip ice cream. I think it's very good. It's very nice. It's delicious. I like it with extra chocolate chips, and I like some hot fudge syrup on it. And thank you for that question. That was a good question. And then she would say, thank you, Mr. President. And now we move on to so-and-so. That's not what she did. She didn't sit there and field questions. She harassed him. She bullied him. She literally went nutso on him. She fought him. She debated him. I had a tweet where, just in my frustration of watching it, I said, did I miss your presidential run announcement, Caitlin Collins? Why are you debating Trump? You were not running against him. Or are you really just that triggered and volatile? Because I think that's one of the biggest issues of this town hall, was having a woman run the town hall was frankly an embarrassment. She was emotionally volatile. Every time Trump would speak, she had to like, Gah! And like Bilbo with the ring, right? Gah! Because, man, I know people take Trump personally and they take what he says personally, but if you put a woman who is going to take everything personally, because that's what we do when we're in an argument with somebody, we always have to have the last word. I really think that, not that I think there's many competent men on CNN either, but I think that they could have had somebody that could maybe measure and talk with Trump and not feel like they had to get the last word in. I do feel like there were a few times where she did nab him a little, where she kind of got him. Obviously, she talked about the January 6th stuff way too long, the election fraud stuff way too long, because, you know, she wanted to get Trump saying something stupid so that they could plaster it all over the internet and be like, he's an election denier still, even though it's been, at the time of his potential re-election, it'll be 4 years. Why are we still talking about it? She asked him if he was going to pardon the January 6th prisoners, and he had a great answer for that, where he was like, I think so. I'll pardon who I can and who I can't, because there were a handful of people that were some rebel-rousing ruckusers. They will not, you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see who's pardoned. And then when he got asked about the Proud Boys and pardoning them or whatever, or, you know, their cases, he was like, he had a good answer where he was like, we have to see what their cases are. I don't know off the top of my head if I'm going to be able to do that or not. So all of the things that she thought she was going to be able to snag him on, she really didn't. I'm not the biggest Trump fan, but she was a volatile bomb, just spewing left and right, venom everywhere, and he handled and fielded her crap really well, I thought, for being Trump, because we know how he can be. And I was very pleasantly surprised with how he handled it all. I'm gonna play one video where he talks about which one is it? Where'd it go? It's down here somewhere. Oh, angry Caitlin. There was one very specific one about Ukraine that I was like, that is a good answer. It's a very good answer, Trump. Wow. It's like, I guess they don't want us to hear about it. I'm going to type in. It like refreshed in the time that I've been talking. So. Here we go. I'm gonna. All right. I'm gonna fight with it a little bit, and I'm gonna have to pause it throughout because I will probably get copyright struck again if I play the whole video. So let's hop over here. I'm gonna start the video. Can I like float between them, or is the camera gonna change? I guess I'll go right here for now. We'll see what's going to happen because I want you to be able to see faces and stuff. I'll move it if I need to. I'm going to turn myself down and I'm going to start the video at least so everyone can hear it, and we'll go through.
So much for coming.
Thank you.
The current administration has made it clear that we should continue to provide military equipment to Ukraine so that they can defend themselves. Do you support this decision, and how would you deal with the increasing threat posed by Vladimir Putin?
First of all, thank you very much. It's really nice. And it's an important question, so important.
That's one thing that was really appreciative about Trump is like he thanked every person's question. He handled them with grace. Everyone who asked him a question was very calm and very matter of fact, and he answered them matter of factly. And then you had Caitlin Collins. Just you'll see how she acts. All right, let's go.
Because we're giving away so much equipment. We don't have ammunition for ourselves right now. We don't have ammunition for ourselves. We're giving away so much. But here's the thing. I have to say it to start off. No longer matters. If I were president, this would have never happened. And even the Democrats admit that. Putin knew it would have never happened. And his pipeline would have never happened. A lot of things would have never happened. But this would never have happened. And all those dead people.
See, that's where Caitlin Collins is annoying as heck, where it's like, let the man finish his sentence. You're not debating him. This girl asked him a question. Don't butt in like a gossipy turd, for lack of better word, where it's literally like, hey, let the man answer his question, field the question, move on. Stop interrupting him. She gets worse. She gets so much worse. I don't like this woman.
People, both Russian and Ukrainian, they wouldn't be dead today. And all those cities that are blown up and disintegrated right to the ground, that wouldn't have happened. Okay, now, here's the problem. We've given so far $171 billion. They've given, meaning European Union, which is approximately the same size altogether as our economy. They've given about 20. So we're at 170, let's say, and they're at 20. You don't have to know too much about history to realize, or geography, to realize that they're a little bit more affected than we are, okay?
Her face is really stressing me out, where she's just, you can tell she just wants to like, rawr. Like, look at her jaw. She's like, like she's gonna say something in a second.
Okay, so they've got to put up a lot more money, because they're taking advantage of us like every other country did. That's why I ended NAFTA and replaced it with the USMCA, Mexico,
But on
Canada.
this issue, Mr. President, I should know, I don't know any Democrats who have said they don't believe Putin would have been invaded if you were president. But her question is, would you continue to give Ukraine money and weapons if you're elected?
I hate that she has to add in, oh, I don't know any Democrats that would say that. oh, I this, I that. Shut up and just, if he's not directly answering the question, just say, Mr. President, can you please answer the question? The question was. You don't have to put in your little shoehorn there and be like, hey, this is my opinion. That's not your job as a moderator. You are a moderator. Moderators should be not, what's the word I'm looking for? They shouldn't be super hard on one side or the other. Like, they should be like, I am a moderator. I am moderate. I am in the middle. I am the go-between. And this woman failed so bad at this job that she was given. You had one job. But I don't think she's used to being contested. She's one of those talking heads that's like, oh, well, all these words. Nobody ever says anything bad to me or about me. And now she has Trump pushing back on her. So she's just like, what do I do? And so she just attack. And that's the whole town hall. That's what it was. And it was like I said, I don't want to listen to the whole thing again. So we're not going to go through it that deeply. But I thought this was an interesting part of it to bring up and talk about. But I'm going to mute myself again real quick.
What's the answer?
I have a very good relationship with President Zelensky because, as you know, he backed me up with the phony impeachment hoax #1 when he said the president didn't do anything wrong. So I happened to like. So I happened to like. Yeah, that's right. And I was totally exonerated, by the way. Just a waste of time and money.
You were impeached over that.
Was she told, like, make sure you cut him off, make sure you don't get these words out, make sure you, like, because she just does it every single time he tries to talk, where you can tell, like, it almost feels like she has a cue card where it's like, make sure you insert this in this moment, because Trump was like, oh, well, here's my words, and then she's, blah, 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 like, really fast, like, well, that's when this happened, and it's like, lady, shut up, let him finish the sentence. If you have to make a comment, let him finish his sentence. Seriously.
Thanks for that, but let's stay on topic here, Mr. President, because the question is, would you give Ukraine weapons and funding?
I was impeached by a crazy woman named Nancy Pelosi.
But the question here is, would you give Ukraine weapons and funding if you were elected?
I would sit down. Let me just put it a nicer way. If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours.
Genuinely, I think probably, because he'd be like, we're done. America's done. We're not giving any more of our money to you guys. We're not giving any more of our equipment to you guys. We are done. You are done. We're going to have peace. We're not going to be doing this anymore. Not that I think Trump will single-handedly end the war if he's elected, but he knows the crap. He knows what's up. And I'm pretty sure that he would do a lot more than Joe Biden has to end the crap. Joe Biden is bathing in the crap. Trump would shake it off his boots, is what I think.
How would you settle that war in one day?
Because I'll meet with Putin, I'll meet with Zelensky. They both have weaknesses and they both have strengths. And within 24 hours, that war will be settled. It'll be over. It'll be absolutely over.
Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
What kind of a question is that? Do you want one of the two corrupt governments that are fighting over bullcrap to win this war? Like, obviously that there's innocents in Ukraine who are affected by this war, just like there's innocent people in Russia who are affected by this war. In Nazi Germany in 1942, there were innocent Germans who were affected by the Nazi regime. Just because there's a bad government in charge or a crazy homicidal dictator in charge doesn't mean that the civilians are to be held accountable for it. So I agree with Trump here, where he just says, like, I want people to stop dying, which is what you're going to hear him say. This isn't Twilight. You're not Team Edward or Team Jacob here. What are you? Are you Team Ukraine or are you Team Russia? One of them is all sparkly in the sunlight and cool, and the other one's all dark and sultry. This isn't Twilight, lady. So please just get off your team horse and kind of, face reality, please. That's not turning down.
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people and breaking down this country. Now,
can I just follow up on that? You said you don't think in terms of winning and losing. Mr. President, can I just follow up on that because that's a really important statement that you just made there. Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I like that answer of not thinking in terms of winning and losing, because again, there are no winners in a war. Everyone's the bad guy. Like, I know that there's just war theory and, like, you know, obviously the right thing to do in, say, World War II was to get involved and to shut things down. Regardless of how we got involved, I have some theories myself about that. And looking back on it, were we right to be involved? Yes, because of what Hitler was doing. Did we know the extent of what he was doing? No, we did not. Right? We didn't know really what was going on until we marched into the concentration camps and said, what the actual F is happening here? There's bodies piled, there's mass graves, there's people being burned in ovens, there's people being gassed to death, there's people being experimented on. So obviously there were justifications for us to be in that war, but we also committed atrocities. There are no good guys in war, right? So I like that answer where he's not saying, like, I want to side to win because they're clearly the moral superiority here. I don't think anyone's moral superiority in this situation. Ukraine has done horrible things. Zelensky is a horrible person. His wife is a horrible person. Vladimir Putin is a horrible person. I think everybody here is at fault. So I like his answer. I really like his answer there.
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying. And I'll have that done. I'll have that done in 24 hours. I'll have it done. You need the power of the presidency to do it.
But you won't say that you want Ukraine to win.
You know what I'll say? I'll say this. I want Europe to put up more money because they're in for 20 billion. We're in for 170, and they should be. And they should equalize. They have plenty of money. They should equalize. I got with NATO, when I sat down, I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars that they weren't paying under Obama and Bush and all of these other presidents. That's why they're able to help them fight the war, because of the money I got.
Notice she's like, I'm asking you, Mr. President. Like, she's disregarding the girl's question and just kind of going off on her own tangent. I think they wanted to catch him being like, well, obviously I want Ukraine to win, because then you'd have super anti-Ukraine war people being like, oh, whoa, if he's on Ukraine's side, then he might actually be funding them and doing things with them that we don't want him to do, so we're not going to vote for him now. And then you have the people that are super like, yes, we need to be involved in this war, being like, he just said he wanted Russia to win, and then that would be a disaster as well. So I think he handled that question very gracefully. We're going to finish this video. I know it's kind of long, but I thought if any of the clips of this to show, this was a pretty good one to go through. It's more than halfway over, so just, you know, bear with me here.
But I want Europe.
What's happening in Ukraine,
I want Europe to put up more money because they're laughing at us. They think we're a bunch of jerks. We're spending $170 billion for faraway land, and they're right next door to that land, and they're in for 20. I don't think so.
When it comes to what's happening there, when you were in office, you said that you respected President Putin. Do you still respect him today?
I think that that's just such a dumb thing to say. Do you respect President Putin? I mean, are we as humans supposed to respect other humans with dignity, human dignity? Yes. Is Putin a smart guy who knows what he's doing? Yes. He's not the bumbling idiot that the media wants you to think he is. This guy's tactful. He knows what he's doing. He's a strategist. And he has plans. So yeah, I'd give him the respect he deserves, and I would take him seriously. So Trump's answer here, I think, is pretty good.
He made a tremendous mistake. He's a smart guy, you know. I remember I said he was smart, she was smart. He said President Xi of China, right, is smart. Okay, 1.5 billion people. He's the ruler of 1.5 billion people. I said, yeah, he's a smart guy. How dare he say he's smart? Of course he's smart. They want you to say he's a stupid person. Okay, he's not a stupid person. He's very smart. He's very cunning. And Putin made a bad mistake, in my opinion.
What was his mistake?
His mistake was going in. He would have never gone in if I was president. We used to talk about it, too.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Putin knows that Joe Biden is a bag of fluff that's not going to do a thing. He's going to keep funneling money into Ukraine because it benefits him and his family. And when Putin and Trump were having their talks, Trump was like, no, you're not doing this. And Putin was like, I can't do this if you're in power. So he took the advantage he was given and did what he wanted to do. So Trump's right. You can dislike him and you can, I love the expression he's like giving me. I just noticed it and I'm just like, okay. Anyway, you can dislike Trump and you can not want to vote for him. I still personally don't know that I don't think I'm voting for him. But I like what he's saying. If it comes down between him and Joe Biden, I hope that people are smart and use their brains and they're not just like, oh, well, this guy's not Trump. I hope the Democrats put up a candidate that's actually a challenge for him. I hope the Libertarians put up a candidate that I'm willing to vote for. I have a feeling they will, but I'm not entirely sure yet, because I would prefer to vote that. And if not, I'd prefer to just write in Ron Paul. But I don't know. I do like what he is saying about this because I am as get out of this Ukraine war as anyone can be. I'm very much against this. I've been against this from the start. I'm tired of the emotional baiting. I'm tired of all the crap. It's one thing to go in as a humanitarian effort and help people who are harmed by it and help people who are hurt by it as a peaceful aid. And it is a totally other thing to fund them with weapons that we're seeing in the hands of the Taliban now. There's terrorists who are now in control of these weapons that we sent to Ukraine. How are we helping? We're not. So, all right, let's go to the next thing that they talk about. Continue on with this.
Do you believe that he is a war criminal?
What?
Do you believe that Putin is a war criminal? He's responsible for the deaths of thousands of Ukrainian men and women.
I think it's something that should not be discussed now. It should be discussed later because
I agree with him. I agree with the statement he's about to make. If you're going to ask, though, if Putin's a war criminal, you have to ask the same thing about Vladimir Zelensky because he is 100% a war criminal as well, if we're going to go down that road.
Right now, we have to get a war. If you say he's a war criminal, it's going to be a lot tougher to make a deal to get this thing stopped. Because if he's going to be a war criminal where people are going to go and grab him and execute him, he's going to fight a lot harder than he's fighting, under the other circumstance. That's something to be discussed at a later date.
Fully agree with that statement. Obviously, Adolf Hitler did a lot worse stuff than Putin, right? Hitler was very much a war criminal, and it was known. Everybody knew that if the Allies won, there would be trials, and I don't even know if Hitler would have made it to trial, in all honesty. He was a war criminal. He knew what he was doing. And what did he do? He took his own life to avoid being captured. He kept the war going. So, not saying Putin is necessarily on the same level as Hitler, but Trump is right. If we say right now, Vladimir Putin is a war criminal, what do you think he's going to do? Is he going to be like, oh, yeah, let's have peace, I guess. Yeah, throw me in a prison cell. Execute me. I don't care. No, he's going to say, I don't know what you guys are going to do to me because you've just declared that I'm a war criminal officially. So we're going to keep this thing going because you are not taking me. So it's just going to keep going and going and going and going. Now, regardless of whether he has committed atrocities, which he has, so has Vladimir Zelensky, that's a smart answer. That's something that we'll discuss later when we have a sit down and we have these are the peace talks that, they were going to have. And then Boris Johnson had to put his foot in. So let's keep going. It's almost done. I promise.
Right now, we want to get that war settled. And I'm not talking about the money either. I'm talking about all the lives that are the number of people being killed in that war is far greater than you're hearing. When they blow up a city and those buildings come pouring down and then they say 2 people were injured, no, hundreds and thousands of people are being killed. And we have to get that war settled.
We have more with former President Trump. Right after this, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with questions.
You can tell. I didn't watch this live. When it was live, I listened to it afterward. So I didn't have the expressions, but I mean, look at his face right now. You can tell that he's not impressed by this woman. I don't know a soul who is impressed by this woman except for Stephen King, who was tweeting about how he thought they were just kind of softballing it and sending Trump easy questions in a room full of supporters. I will say it's very, very interesting that so many people were cheering and clapping. I was, thinking, a CNN town hall, there's going to be, like, you're going to be hearing a lot of, it's very interesting how much the crowd was like, yeah, toward this. So I do have an article that I'm going to pull up. It's a CNN analysis about it, fact-checking Trump's comments. I just kind of want to laugh at it, where CNN just spews off some CNN stuff about the thing. So we're going to hop over there. I'm probably going to have to move my screen again. Yeah, I am. I'm going to move it right there, I guess. All right. CNN faces harsh criticism after Trump unleashed a fire hose of lies during its live town hall. I really didn't get that at all from this. So, all right. Whatever. Let's see what you have to say. It's hard to see how America was served by the spectacle of lies that aired on CNN Wednesday evening. Caitlin Collins is a tough and knowledgeable interviewer Caitlin Collins is as tough and knowledgeable of an interviewer as they come. She fact-checked Trump throughout the 70-minute town hall. Over and over again, she told him the election was not stolen, it was not rigged, there was no evidence for the lies he was disseminating on stage. So I don't necessarily believe that the election was stolen. I don't necessarily believe that it was rigged to the degree that he said it was. There definitely was some issues. I think that they've admitted that they were like, yeah, there were some things here and there. I don't believe it was to the extent he was. The reason that Trump lost was not because people were messing with ballots right then and there necessarily. Some were, some weren't. It was because they pushed the mail-in voting. They changed the fundamentals of the election. They made it last for multiple weeks, months, right? Instead of one day, paper ballots, voter ID. If you need to send something in early, you have that option. Only for circumstances. My state constitution, mail-in voting in Maine is illegal, right? Unless you are impaired, unable to leave. Like, you have to have a legitimate reason to have a mail-in vote. It's not just willy-nilly. Ballot harvesting, right? You go somewhere and you just say, hey, I'm here to collect your ballots. Can you fill them out, please? And then whatever. All right, sure. Joe Biden, I guess. Here you go. And then you just go down your street and do that in a city, because people are uninformed and people don't vote. They don't care. They just fill out, I am a Democrat, so who's the Joe Biden? Oh, Donald Trump's the other guy? Ugh, I've heard bad things about him. Joe Biden, here you go, thank you. That's how it works. So I don't believe that it was tampered with to the degree that Trump says that it was. But there definitely was some shady stuff going on. So this fact-checking article is a bunch of baloney. The election was not rigged, Mr. President, Collins told Trump at one point during the event. She said that to him so many times. I wanted her to get off of that. You cannot keep saying that all night long. Yeah, he did. Trump frequently ignored or spoke over Collins throughout the evening as he unleashed a fire hose of disinformation upon the country, with a sizable swath of GOP continue to believe. A professional lie machine. Trump. This is such an opinion article. Like, this is not news about it. This is just somebody being like, how many insults can I throw at Trump in one article? Because I hate him. Oh my gosh, the way that they say this. A professional lie machine. Trump fired off falsehoods at a rapid clip while using his bluster to overwhelm Collins, stealing command of the stage at some points at the town hall. That's what he was supposed to do. She wasn't supposed to be fighting with him. Trump lied about the 2020 election. He took no responsibility for the January 6th insurrection that those lies incited, and he mocked E. Jean Carroll's allegations of sexual assault, which the jury found him liable for on Tuesday. Liable doesn't necessarily mean that he did it the way that it's described. So, you know what I mean? Liable does not mean that he raped her. Sorry if you need to have that information thrown at you. All right, so January 6th, he was not responsible for it. There was a point where she was like, well, why did you wait so long to say something about it? And he was like, I didn't. I was on the stage giving my speech when the handful of dissenters that actually did break the law and actually did break in and actually did cause harm went and did their thing. I told my people, go there, be peaceful, don't make a ruckus that's bad. So, you know what I mean? People blame him for it. if you really listen to what was going on, Twitter took down the tweets. At the time, it was not owned by Elon Musk. So Twitter took down his tweets calling for peace and decorum. He defended himself very well there, but she was not having it because Caitlin Collins is a witch. Putting it in a family-friendly way. CNN aired it all. On and on it went. It felt like 2016 all over again. It was Trump's unhinged social media feed brought to life on stage. It wasn't unhinged. For Trump, it was very calm. And Collins was put in an uncomfortable position, given the town hall was conducted in front of a Republican audience that applauded Trump, giving a sense of unintended endorsement to his shameful antics. Okay, so if there was a Democrat on Fox News, and they were doing this with them, and there were Democrats in the audience cheering, that doesn't necessarily mean that Fox News would stand behind those cheers, right? That's why you've got to have those, this does not necessarily reflect the views of our company, or something like that, because they're going to say stuff like this. Yet some news was made. The town hall spotlighted his insistence on continuing his peddle 2020 election lies. Accordingly, he said the U.S. should default on its debt if the White House does not agree to the Republican spending cuts, refused to say whether he wants Ukraine or Russia to win the war, and declined to give a straight answer on abortion. No, I really think he did. He basically said that if he was the president, again, that he believes in the exceptions of rape and incest and the health of the mother, which I still think, if I'm authoritarian on anything, I think abortion should be outright banned. And we've talked about this. I'm not going to go into that right now. You can watch previous episodes if you want to hear my position on abortion. But Trump has a very reasonable, moderate Democrat opinion on abortion that you can reason with it, because he's like, hey, 9 months is too far. After the point of viability is too far. That's wrong. I believe in it here, here, and here, but we're not going to do any of that crazy stuff there. And that's what he said, right? And I disagree with him. I think that it should be outright banned. I think that it's as evil and abhorrent as slavery. I think in 50 to 100 years, I hope and pray that we have people that look back on abortion and say, how did you people do this to people, right? But Trump is he has a fairly moderate 10 years ago Democrat position on abortion, right? Like, that used to be, the safe, legal, rare position. That's what he seems to hold, and that can be reasoned with, that can be discussed with, rather than the shout your abortion nutcases. So he did give a straight answer on abortion. He just didn't give the answer that they wanted, which is, freedom for all. You can kill your baby, and you can kill your baby, and you can kill your baby. So that's what they wanted to hear from him. They wanted him to Oprah it. But for most of the night, the nation's eyes were transfixed on Trump's abuse of a platform he was given. What abuse? At one point, he even insulted Collins, calling her a nasty person, to which the crowd of New Hampshire Republican primary voters broke out in cheers. She was a nasty person, okay? If you watch that, she was a very nasty person. She shouldn't have been the person to moderate this. We don't have time to fact check every lie he told, anchor Jake Tapper candidly said after the event wrapped up. Of course you don't, because if you started really getting into things, you would be smoked. You would be destroyed. You would have no argument against him. Trump's team was naturally delighted with the result. According to reports, advisors to Trump are thrilled at how this is going so far for him. The New York Times, Jonathan Swan reported, they can't believe he is getting an hour on CNN with an audience that cheers in every line and laughs at his every joke. Neither could anyone else. While Collins is largely receiving praise for her I've only seen negative comments toward her on this. I have not seen a positive comment at all. She was facing an impossible task. CNN and new network boss Chris Light, I don't know how to say it, are facing a fear of criticism, both internally and externally, over the event. How Light, another CNN executive, addresses the criticism in the coming days and weeks will be crucial. Will they defend what transpired at St. Anselm College, or will they express some regret? For now, CNN is defending itself. Tonight, Caitlin Collins exemplified what it means to be a world-class journalist. No, she didn't. She asked tough, fair, and revealing questions. No, she didn't, a network spokesperson said, and she followed up and fact-checked President Trump in real time to arm voters with crucial information about his positions as he enters the 2024 election as the Republican frontrunner. That is CNN's role and responsibility, to get answers and hold the powerful to account. Listen. No. That's not at all what happened, okay? This woman, they talk about Trump going like machine gun rapid fire on her and being, pardon my French, but an all-around dick. She was the dick here. She was the one that was going after him, interrupting him. He was getting his answers out. He had grace and decorum, and he did call her a nasty person at one point. Maybe he shouldn't have, but the sentiment was true. This woman is terrible. I was frustrated listening to her. She blatantly fact-checked him with open lies. There were things that I just was like, that's been factually proven though. Like, did you not? Okay. She just wanted to catch him saying something dumb so that they had a headline. They didn't seem to have great headlines to trash Trump with, so they went with what they had, and it's all very weak. It is very weak. I am going to end the Trump stuff there and just say I think that the town hall went really well. I'm still not sure that I would vote for him, but I think Donald Trump handled himself very well. I think he showed a lot of maturity. I think that she showed a lot of volatile female immaturity. She could have been a lot nicer. She could have actually done her job. She didn't. And I think for what it was, it went good. There were only a few things that I was like, shoot, he played right into her hands with that one. And that was kind of some pride stuff where like she would goad him about January 6th and the election because she wanted to press those issues, because she wanted to hear him say something about January 6th that would not pull well with voters. And she wanted to hear him say something about the election fraud, which would not pull well with the moderate voter who just hear election fraud and they roll their eyes, right? Or the Democrat voter that might still be swayable, or the Republican voter that, like me, I'm not a Republican, but the voter like me that's like, okay, I know that there's some fishy stuff going on within the ballots and within the election, but I don't think it's that far, dude. You can, chill out. Like someone like me would roll their eyes at. So they wanted to find things that, wow, I have no clue what that noise was. I don't know if anyone heard that. But anyway, they wanted to catch him saying crap that they could clip, soundbite, and throw up and put in ads and be like, this is terrible. This is why this man should not be president again. And it just is dumb. So, whatever. I had a couple more articles I was going to pull up, but I don't know if I will because we've gone for about 42 minutes. And I think my son's movie is going to be ending soon. So this is kind of a mishmash episode that I didn't intend to be so chaotic. I feel like it was pretty chaotic. I really hope I don't get fact-checked to heck, and not fact-checked, copyright stricken to heck, and have all of those clips that I played taken out, because that happened when I was doing a Kamala Harris one time, and it literally took out everything she said, and it just had me being like, wow. I don't like her because so it made me look like a horrible person because I was just sitting there going, well, Kamala's an idiot, and it's not even showing you guys like what I had, right? So I probably won't be back again until Monday. We'll see what happens over the weekend. I'm not planning on doing tomorrow. Fridays are kind of chaotic for us. It's one of our weird days of the week. And my husband is not feeling great. It's either allergies or a cold. I'm not sure. And I've had a sore throat for a couple days. So it's either allergies or cold. I have no clue. So we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't escalate, because I'm hoping Monday through Thursday next week, I'll be able to do one of these each day. So we will see. I hope that everybody has a great rest of their day and afternoon and weekend as well. See if anything crazy happens over the weekend. Maybe I can hop back on. Maybe not. Let me know which name you like, right, for the show. I might do Don't Tread on Brie just because that's the one that everybody seems to like. You can, again, find me, fearmeitsbre, on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and I will try and upload to Rumble as well. Try and remember to do that today. And I will see everybody on Monday.